Hey, good people, how you doing? David Taub here, co-creator of NextLevelGuitar.com. Hope all is going well, and I hope your guitar and musical journeys are going famously. And today I have another lesson with some more killer lick techniques and devices and lick ideas. And today we're going to use octaves and some octave techniques to really add some spice to your guitar solos, right? We want to try to do some different things, kind of branch out, and maybe get you playing a little bit outside of the box and moving across the fretboard so you're kind of not stuck in one position, right? And spicing up your solos. Today we're going to be in the key of E minor, and we're going to be playing over a 2-chord jam track that's just wide open. It's 2 chords, and what it is an E minor 9 to an A13. And that's it, right? So it's very wide open. You really want to make sure that you know the chords for which you're playing over, because it's the chords that really give you the full roadmap to what you can use soloing and improvisation-wise. The key is good, but it's only a part of it. And hey, if you got a second, please subscribe to the channel. You know, that really helps us. It really helps us to keep bringing the content, and we so appreciate it. Please share our videos. Leave a comment below in the comment box. Let us know how you like this lesson. Let us know what lessons you'd like to see coming up, or what gear reviews you'd like to see. And if you like the video, please click the like button, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Hey, thank you so much. We so appreciate it. We're in the key of E minor, and for soloing purposes, I'm going to use E Dorian. You know, I love the Dorian mode, and if you're a rock player, a blues player, blues rock player, jazz guy, you really want to get to know the Dorian mode. It's the second mode in any major key, and it's awesome because it gives you elements of both minor and major sounds, but over minor chords it's really dark and mystical sounding. It's an awesome mode. I'll show you a few scale shapes because these are kind of the scales that I've built a lot of the licks from. In the opening I was playing a lot of arpeggio based licks, but I was also mixing in those Dorian scale licks and also the octave licks, right? Okay, so I'll show you just a couple. Off of the 7th fret root on the A string, you have our E note, right? And here's one shape for E Dorian. And off the 12th fret on the low E string, here's another really cool E Dorian scale. And the notes in E Dorian, just so you know, are E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. And if you want to see these scales drawn out on paper, I'll tell you what, click on the link in the YouTube description box. I'll send you my free ebook where I have, 30 scale diagrams, all kinds of soloing strategies, and I'll send you a video lesson with that also. So you get the video lesson and the ebook. And there's a lot of different ways that you could think about it. I tend to think about it more as I'm playing all my D major scales. I'm just focusing on the E notes. D major, same notes as E Dorian, because E Dorian is the second mode in any major key, and the second note in a D major scale is E, so E Dorian. And if that's a little weird, don't worry about it. I don't want to throw too much theory at you. I just want you to get playing the guitar, having fun, making some noise, right? But just so you know, if you want to think about it, if you know a lot of major scales, play all your D major scales, but focus on the E notes, E, because we're in E Dorian. Or you could also use if you know like your natural minor scales, B natural minor is the minor, relative minor of D major, same as E Dorian. All three of those modes have all the same notes in it. That's kind of what the modes is about. You're kind of shifting emphasis. You could play B natural minor scales, B Aeolian mode, but focusing on the E notes because we're in E Dorian, right? So it's really all about emphasis, the mood you want to create, and the sounds you want to create. Those are the three biggest things, right? And we're emphasizing the E notes to really kind of get that E Dorian flavor. We're creating this dark kind of mood and creating some cool sounds using octaves. I'm using E Dorian because I really like it, but you could blast E minor pentatonic and blues over these chords, and if that's where you're at in your journey, just try that for now. But, you know, really try to expand, because, you know, you'll have these awesome half steps when you start using diatonic scales, right? And that's really melodic, and you get a couple extra notes that you don't have in minor pentatonic. So, you know, use what you know for sure. Remember, E minor pentatonic will work over these chords all day, so have fun with that. But, you know, push yourself to the next level. These octaves that I was playing, you heard me do that, a run like that in the intro, right? And all an octave is you're playing a note, and then you're playing the same note, but either 12 notes above it or 12 notes below it. So it's the same note, but you get these different timbres because, well, they're on different strings and they're an octave apart. Right? Now, there's a couple of really common shapes, and you could do so much with octaves. I'm just going to show you a couple of things. If you want to learn a lot of things, you know, watch any video you could find, get your hands on with Wes Montgomery. A little bit more in the jazzy kind of vein, but he was just the master at using octaves. And even though, you know, a lot of times you'll see these used so much in jazz, I think they're applicable in any genre of music. Country, rock, blues, metal, progressive, hard rock, whatever, they work. Let's play off the high E string and the G string. So that's an octave shape. Now I'm muting out, and I'll give you a close-up of that, and I'm muting out the B string by letting my first finger kind of spill over. That's important because you don't want to hear all three strings. Ugly, right? You just want to hear the G. In this instance, I'm playing an A note and A high octave here with my pinky. So that's the sound. And I'll show you how an easy way you could get that to move around. Now, if you wanted to do octaves, you could, again, it's the same shape. If you want to use the B string, skip the G string, and the D string. For instance, here's an E note, and then here's my E note on the 2nd fret D string, and then muting out the G with my first finger by laying it flat. B string, 5th fret, is my E note. There's your octave. Right? You could probably hear those sounds, that sound of octaves, and you probably triggers, oh, I've heard that used in songs before, even for melodies, for intros, for soloing. So much you could do with it. Have fun with it, right? And if you want this jam track that I'm using in this lesson, the E minor 9 to A13 track, I have it in our Next Level Guitar Jam Track Vault. It's a killer practice tool that I developed, has over 70 jam tracks in it, but the killer thing is that each track I pair it with a custom written lesson which describes the chords in each track and also what to try over it as far as what scales work and why, suggestions, and then I also diagram out those scales in the PDF materials, the ebooks. So it's a really comprehensive little practice tool. Killer sounding tracks, scales, soloing suggestions. I'll put a link in that below, so check it out. Now that you know how to play octaves off of those two sets of strings, and remember, mute out the middle string, so important, let me show you how you can apply that. If you know my lessons, right, I'm a big proponent of not just learning your scales vertically, but also learning them horizontally across one string. And this is a great example of why that's such a great idea, because we're moving the octave like I did. I'm going to do that octave lick for you, and I'm moving it across. I'm not playing it just vertically, right? So you have to know the notes, the scale on one string. And then what I do is I watch my pinky, and I keep this shape fixed. And I watch my pinky is kind of the guide note. And that's how I know where I am all the time, you know? So I kind of forget about the first finger, and I just leave the shape the same as I move it around, but I'm looking at that pinky's telling me the note, right? So if we do these octaves, we're in the key of E minor, we want to do E Dorian. We want to run right up the E Dorian scale in octaves and play this lick. Okay, so I started on A, and I ended on A, on the A octaves. So what you want to do is, let's just play the scale on the G string so you could see it. So that scale again, remember the E Dorian notes. We're starting from the A this time, so you have A at the 2nd fret. This is all on the G string. B at the 4th fret, C sharp at the 6th fret, right? D at the 7th fret, E at the 9th fret, F sharp at the 11th fret, G at the 12th fret, and A at the 14th fret. So obviously you want to get that. Right? So kind of get comfortable just first moving your one finger with that. Hitting the note and slide. Hit note, slide, hit note, slide. Right? That's the first step. Right? Up and back. And that alone is a great little practice exercise. And that alone will create all kinds of licks. Right? But let's add the octaves. So now play the shape by laying your pinky on the high E string, right? So now your pinky is going to be here. 5th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, 10th fret, 12th fret, right? 14th fret, 15th fret, and ends on that 17th fret on the A. Kind of the reason why, just in case you're wondering, I'm starting on A and I ended on A is because in the jam, I played that run over the A chord, over the A13, that A root, so it sounds really nice starting and ending on the A. You could do it anywhere, but I'm always kind of conscious of the chords I'm playing over and when the chords change. That's how you make big solo statements, right? And you're kind of treating each chord almost like a separate event as opposed to just playing the same thing over everything or what relates to all. Okay, and the way that I played this lick, and you could do it so many different ways, is I hit the G string, and then I quickly came on an upstroke to down and then up on the high E, and then slid. You could just hit them both. Sounds fine. I wanted to do it a little differently. You could do so many different ways, but I did it like this slow. All right? So that's kind of a cool way that you can move across the fretboard with these octave licks and have fun. You could take it up, stop, go back. There's so many different ways you could do it, but the technique, this device is the same. So once you have this shape down, just practice slowly moving it. Know those notes on whatever string. You could even watch your first finger if you'd rather watch that finger and just keep that pinky the same. All kinds of licks you can come up with using these octaves. You could even go to that, like I was showing you earlier, use the B string and the D string. And again, I'm watching the pinky. There's the notes in that Dorian. And you can create all kinds of licks using these octave devices, mixing them up with notes from your Dorian mode. I hope this lesson has helped you, and I hope you can pull some things out of it that you could use along your guitar journey. My pleasure to bring it to you. I'm David Taub with Next Level Guitar. Remember, please subscribe to the channel. You know, that really helps us to keep bringing the content. Please, if you like the video, click the like button, share the video with your friends, give it a thumbs up. And hey, if you want that free video lesson and ebook, I'll put those links below, as well as if you want the jam track I use in this lesson and a killer practice tool, I'll put where you can buy that. That's my jam track vault, which has the custom written lessons. It's a great practice tool. It's kind of unique too. I'll put links to that below, so be sure and check that out. And stay tuned. I got a lot more killer content coming. Thank you so much You know, I really appreciate it. We all do here at Next Level Guitar for your continued support. We've been doing this a long time, and we're going to keep bringing some of the best lessons, guitar, bass. We do all levels, beginner, intermediate, advanced. Most genres of music we try to cover. So stay tuned. And remember, your guitar playing is an evolution. I'll see you in the next lesson.